Hello friends, it's Simone, your favorite neighborhood nerd. I'm here today to share this pen with you. It's a special pen. I actually reached out to Jonathan Brooks from Carolina Pen Company and asked him if he would loan me this pen to show it to you because I find this idea extremely intriguing. On one of his latest podcast episodes, he said that it needs a little bit more explanation. And I was like, you know what? I can do that. And so here we are today looking at the Convert. I put everything back into its box because I think it's absolutely nicely packaged. And I want to show you how it comes to you if you decide you want to get one of those models. So here we go. There is a lot of packaging, an envelope with a note, and some stickers. There is his card. Oops. Love how it looks. Putting your personality in writing. Custom fountain pens, resin, and urushi. There's a sticker here. Podcast that I listened to when I reached out and totally did not expect me to do that actually. And then is this a sticker? It kind of looks like a tattoo by Carolina Pen Company. And last one is, well, now you need to tell me who these guys are because I don't think either one of them is you. Please let me know. Okay, then we have a lot of packaging material, and then this is what you get in this box. So there's some information on this paper that I'm going to keep so I can put it down into my notebook. Even though it's not a new pen day, I am going to send this pen back. I just want to document all of this information in here. So the pen comes in this bubble envelope, a special Carolina Pen Company rickshaw pen sleeve. Here is the resin. This is the Tidal Pool resin, a Jonathan Brooks exclusive, of course. I mean, why wouldn't? If you buy from him, you get his resin, I believe. He is one of my favorite resin makers, for sure. I'm going to show you the inside in just a minute. Then you get a syringe and this little tube here that houses a plastic bag with a cartridge. This one is black, but it says that it doesn't it's going to be random colors, so you get what you get basically. There is a blunt syringe tip in there. If I can get this open, I will show you. There is a blunt syringe, an empty cartridge that you can use these pieces here to put any color fountain pen ink in. This cartridge is in here, and then this is a Jowo number 6 nib with the Carolina Pen Co. logo engraved. And you know me, I'm a plain girl. He asked me what kind of nib I wanted. Medium, of course. So that is the fountain pen stuff. The Rollerball is already installed in the pen. I'm going to put this aside, put the box aside, and then I'm going to show you what this looks like in this pen. So if you uncap, when you uncap the pen, this is what the Rollerball section looks like. This is a Pilot G2 refill. This is a very popular pen for sure. I was sent the 1.0 tip. So this is basically like a marker. And so because this is a rollerball, I wanted to compare this before I do the fountain pen comparison to some of the rollerballs that exist out there. I found one red Pilot G2, so we can look at this, and then I'm going to put this right here. I'm going to align the ends of these pens with the edge of my pen tray. This was made by my son. It is not even. There is a kind of slanted edge right here. So don't orient yourself at this edge. Orient yourself here and up here. So all of these other rollerball pens are clicker pens. They're easy to use. This is capped, so if you want to use it, you have to uncap the pen, obviously. And then when it is ready to go, if you don't post it, the pen is definitely much shorter than the other pens. This is a Zebra Sarasa. This is the Hobonichi pen, a Uni Jetstream 3 pen. This is, as I said, the Pilot G2. And then here we have the Papermate Ink Joy. This is what these pens look in my hand. I'm just going to do this really quickly so you can see when I use this unposted, it goes up to here. It reminded me, the minute I looked at this pen, it reminded me of a pen, and I'm going to compare it when I'm comparing the fountain pens, the whole shape, and it looks like a thinner pen to me. Reminded me of a specific pen that I have in my collection. So this is what it looks like when it's posted. And then here we have it in direct comparison with the Pilot G2. To me personally, the only downfall for this pen would be that these are clicker pens ready to go in a second. This one you have to uncap, or you don't really have to cap this pen every time when you're using it, but then you either need to post it or keep track of the cap. I had the idea to take this with me to work, where I usually use these types of pens. I don't use fountain pens at work. And I tried it for one day. I was kind of scared because I constantly needed to remind myself where I absent-mindedly dropped the cap. I walk through a big warehouse. I am working on different places, and that was tough. I guess I'm definitely not the target audience for this pen, especially when I'm taking it out of the house to work. I would have an extremely hard time keeping track of this cap. However, it posts securely, as you can see. So if you're a poster, this would totally work. It also doesn't seem to be, there is no roll stop on this pen. However, it posts securely. The pen has flat tops. Let's see how many on rotations this cap takes. 1, 2.5-ish. And the threads are very well made. It doesn't get stuck when I'm opening up the when I'm unscrewing the cap. Same with the threads in the section here. Here is the refill. So the overall pen quality, the polishing, everything is amazing. Super cool. I really like the build quality and of this pen. So I'm gonna open my notebook and then I'm gonna write down some of the things that I have measured, and I needed to set up my notebook. So I'm going to write down what I know about this pen, how much things weigh, the measurements and all that. But I need you to remember that if you are interested in obtaining one of these pens, the G2 refill size comes in quite a few different widths. So you're not stuck with a 1.0 rollerball refill. The same goes for the nib size of the pen. You are not stuck with a medium nib. That I just want you to keep in mind. So I am just going to go right in and write the name of the pen. This is the Convert, which I really love the play on the name. It is a pen that is convertible, but it could also be a pen that could convert someone to use fountain pens. Convert. There we go. Yay. This is by the Carolina Pen Company. And it is a rollerball. G2. And then I'm going to add the fountain pen with the fountain pen because isn't that cool? This specific blank, if you like what you see and you would like a fountain pen in this or a different model or this amazing fountain pen Convert, is called the Tidal Pool. Is this 1.0 millimeters? Feels weird. Not sure. All right. So I was going to tell you also how much it actually costs. And that is $225, including shipping. Plus shipping. Sorry, that's not including shipping. Shipping, which I totally understand because shipping is expensive and this is definitely deserving of the price. Alrighty, so what do we have? I measured it with the nib and the rollerball included. They are exactly the same lengths. So we'll just go with, how did I do this before? Let me check. All right, so the length capped is 13.6 centimeters long. The length uncapped is 12.4 centimeters, and the length posted is 16 centimeters. It is postable and it posts very securely. Do you have to post it to be able to write with it? No, not necessary. However, if I'm looking at this right now, I actually feel the balance of this pen is, in my hand, feels more balanced when the cap is posted. It feels a little light without the posting. And so that is what we're going to talk about right now. And that is something that I noticed. I don't know if this is anybody else noticed, but the weight. So we have two different weights. With the G2 insert, the weight capped or posted, both is the same weight, is 19 grams. And the weight uncapped or not posted is 13 grams. And then the section stays actually the same. So the diameter of the section doesn't change. And that is and the narrowest part of the section right here. There is this little divot where it is 10.05 millimeters. Now, as you can see, the section has gradually tapers down to this little flare right here, the narrowest point in the section, and then it gradually flares back out, which is a nice, I have come to appreciate sections that have this so that my fingers know automatically that this is where they need to stop. And then the diameter at its widest point, which is right here, where it has a tiny, tiny little step up to the threads, is 10.79 millimeters. So it is a very, very slight taper towards the front of the section. It's very minimally. So the cap rotations, we talked about that, are 2.5-ish, which is, I think, still quite doable. It doesn't feel like I'm turning either the cap or the pen. Have you noticed what you do? Are you a cap turner or are you a pen turner? When you unscrew the cap, try it and let me know in the comments down below. So 2.5-ish cap rotations is really doable and doesn't feel like it's overly excessive or anything like that. This is it for the rollerball portion of this video. I have to say, I really like how this feels. I really like how this writes. I think this is a fabulous thing, especially with the stupid sands and paper right now and the issues, and loving to use these beautifully made pens by makers. I love to have the option to still use these pretty pens with a random G2 rollerball refill, that I can still use these pretty pens but have a basically normal random pen refill that you can, in theory, you could buy these in 10 packs and then just open up the pen and remove it from there and move it over to your convert model, if that's something that you wished to do. But you can totally buy Pilot G2 refills without the pen body and use it in here. So let's set up for the fountain pen portion of this. So here are the fountain pens that I would like to compare this pen with today. And when I unboxed and took a look at the Convert model, the first pen that came to mind is the Sailor Progress Slim. But actually, if you look at this, you can see that the Sailor Progress Slim is quite smaller. Let's see how it looks like when it's posted. Yeah, it's barely reaching the top of the Convert when it's posted. So it's still, well, maybe I should have changed this, but I will show this to you right now. So let's transform the Convert. Let's convert the Convert model into a fountain pen. So what you can or would do is open up the pen, unscrew the section, then you have the refill right here. You can remove that. What you also need to get rid of is this pen tip right here. And then you can insert the nib into the section. Make sure you push it down. Start screwing in the nib into the section, or actually start screwing the section onto the nib. And there you go. Easy peasy. You can fill your cartridge with the blend syringe, so you can use any type of fountain pen ink in here. And then insert this cartridge into the pen right here. Yeah, it sits on there. It felt insecure. Do I need to screw it in more? There we go. Now it's on. Make sure it sits snugly on the little knob that comes out of the nib housing, and then you can screw in this section into the pen body. There you go. Now this pen is a fountain pen. Now there is no converter included. Jonathan writes, some mini converters may fit, but also may not. So this is trial and error. And I think the reason why there is the regular international converters don't fit is because, well, we can try this and see. So it fits into the section, sits snugly on the thing, but I think it's too, see, because this insert refill needs to be pushed down, and so that it sticks out of this unit here at its appropriate length. The pen body can only be this long, and even with the pen body, you can see in theory this might fit in here, but I believe, or that's the explanation that I have for this not fitting in here, is because it needs to tamper down quite a bit so that this refill doesn't slide down further into the pen barrel. All right, so we have established, and as we've been told, the standard regular international converter doesn't fit. That's why Jonathan sends you an empty cartridge that you can use with any type of fountain pen ink. Now, I actually do not want to use a fountain pen ink in this pen today. I am just going to dip this and test it. To me, because this is just a regular Jowo nib, I believe that Jonathan tunes all of his nibs anyway that you get sent. I can change this refill to any nib refill size that I would like. I can do the same thing with this nib as well. So it isn't really important what type of nib comes on here, because I have the opportunity to use any nib that fits into a JOWO number 6 housing. So this gives you a lot of opportunities to play. And now we can compare this with that. The cool thing about the Convert is that it uses a JOWO number 6 nib instead of a number 5 nib like the Sailor Pro Gear Slim. And you can see, even though I thought it was very similar, they're completely different. So I'm going to take this out. And so because I thought it was so similar, I pulled out a Sailor Pro Gear instead to see what this would look like in comparison. And I think it's still not comparable, but I think the overall pen shape and size is more closer to the Convert than the Pro Gear Slim. Lots of talking here. So we have the Convert next to a TWSBI Eco, next to a Sailor Pro Gear, next to a Lamy All-Star, and to an Esterbrook SD. Let's uncap those. So all of these are uninked right now except for the Pro Gear, which means I need to be fast. Yeah, the length, it comes closest to the Sailor Pro Gear. It is quite a bit shorter than all of the other pens I have pulled out. The TWSBI Eco as well as the Lamy both use smaller nibs, but the Sailor Pro Gear, the Convert, and the SD are all similar nib sizes. Well, these two are interchangeable actually. Then this is how these pens lay in my hand when I hold them, just so you can see. If you have any of these pens in your possession, you can compare. This is what this looks like. This is what the Lamy Safari looks like, or Lamy All-Star in this instance. TWSBI Eco, the Sailor Pro Gear. This is a pen that I post every time I use it. It just feels too short in my hand. And then this is the SD. The Convert to me is also a pen that if I had this in my possession, it would be posted because it just feels more balanced. This is how it, if I don't hold on to it, this is how it balances out in my hand. It feels really good. It doesn't give me any. Sometimes when I hold a pen, it tries to turn, or I constantly have to make sure that it stays where I put it. This is not the case with this. There is this cap sits right, the edge of the cap sits right in the crook of my hand. So if that is something that you're sensitive to, and your hands are similar to mine. I mean, if your hands are smaller, it won't. But then also, you probably wouldn't post this pen. Or if your hands are even bigger, it doesn't affect you either. So this is where it is. But there is no sharp edges on this cap. So I don't even feel the edge here. Let's post all of those. Even though I don't normally post. Maybe I should not post any of these. I'll show you how I use these pens usually. I find the TWSBI Eco posted as well as the Lamy Safari posted to be kind of ridiculously long. So I don't normally post them. The TWSBI Eco is also quite back heavy, as you can see. It pulls up the nib out of my hand Lamy All-Star. Does not happen. And then this is the SD. To me, the SD is in this awkward length where I feel like it's almost too short when I post it, when I not post it, and when I post it, it's almost too long. But usually, most of the time, this is how I use any of these pens. So this. I think I would post this one. And like so. All right, enough talked about this. Let's go and dip this pen into some ink. And then write down the rest of the measurements, as well as my first impressions of this pen. I am dipping all of the pens that I use for the very first time into Waterman Serenity Blue. This is an ink that I have done these dip tests with for quite a long time, maybe almost 2 years now. And so I do have quite a good way of gauging how the nib performs if I need to look into this nib in more detail, if I enjoy using it. You can see on this Sanzen Tomoe River paper, it smears. So the nib is a Jowo. Wow, that was awesome. Did not work. There we go. Jowo number 6, medium nib. Let's do some downstrokes, side strokes, upstrokes. I mean, this nib is a regular steel nib, so it does not really give you any line variation, and putting on pressure on the nib isn't really recommended because, I mean, it flexes once, but maybe not a second time. So I did not leave space for the fountain pen weight. The fountain pen weight is quite different. So the weight when it's capped is 16 grams, and the weight when it's uncapped is 10. Which checks out because obviously that means that it's 3 grams lighter than using this pen tip with the rollerball insert. I will jot down my first impressions of this pen, and then yeah. Well, what can I say? I was surprised about my own boldness reaching out to Jonathan Brooks, but he was nothing but kind. The first glance made me wary because it looked super narrow and small. I am surprised by how good it feels in my hand, though. The conversion from rollerball to fountain pen and back is easy and straightforward. The craftsmanship on the pen is impeccable. Polishing, threads, and finishing, outstanding. The nib is extremely well tuned. I am amazed how well it rides out of the box. Noticeably tuned makes for a great unboxing experience. Thank you. So I've just written this half a page of first impression. I can totally feel that this pen, this section is quite narrow. The nib is fantastic. I really applaud all the pen makers that go through the trouble of tuning the nibs before they send them out. This makes for such a good first impression and unboxing experience of these pens. For me, even though I know that these Jowo nibs can be exchanged, I can use a nib that works well. It just reflects on the pen maker to know that they went through this trouble of making sure that I would receive a nib that works. That is so amazing. And so I really, as you saw in my writing and heard, I was skeptical of this pen at first because it feels so narrow. It reminded me so much of the ProGear Slim, which is not necessarily a pen that I would use for long writing sessions. I probably also wouldn't use this for long writing sessions either, but this is one of those pens that I would consider to be a purse pen with the Rollerball. I would throw this in my purse in this amazing pen sleeve, have it with me at all times, and if I decided I was going to use this with a fountain pen nib, I would actually probably go for an extra fine and use this in my planner, stick it into right here, and then have it with me because it just feels so good to use it. And knowing that you would get a well-tuned nib from the maker makes all the difference to me, actually. Like I'm so impressed by the whole presentation, the thought that was put into this. I don't have to scramble to look for an empty cartridge. I get a syringe with this. Yes, these are pennies that I can get those in bulk on Amazon, but to be able to use this right away with all the things, and of course the black cartridge that is included. So I don't have to go through all the trouble to either gather this from someplace, buy it extra. It all comes in one set. I think this would be an amazing gift to someone if you wanted to convert them to fountain pens. I would probably start out with the refill as a newbie and then be curious about what this fountain pen thing is all about. And then to think that, yes, the nib is tuned, they will not have a bad experience with a fountain pen nib that isn't tuned, that doesn't work well, that is scratchy, that feels wrong. No, this moving from the Rollerball to the fountain pen would be such a level up in the writing experience that I would probably never change back. But yeah, I am totally sold on this. I think this is a fabulous idea. I hope I was able to show you what you can do with this pen, how it compares to everything. And I hope that, yeah, I know that Jonathan Brooks doesn't really need me to help him spread the word about all the amazing things that he does. He's so well known in the industry, but yeah, I'm so grateful for him to trust me that I would be able to spread the word even a little bit further. So thank you so much, Jonathan, for your trust, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would love you to like this. Leave a comment down below, subscribe to my channel. I am almost at 9,000 subscribers. Can you believe it? So if you help me get to that next mark, that would be awesome as well. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you are having a great day. Do something that you love. That is the most important thing. Thank you. Bye.